What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the last video of 2022, officially, unless I don't get this out in time, and this is going to be very embarrassing. So it'll be the first video of the year. So we get one or the other. Today we're going to be talking about my top 10 movies of 2022. Now, just saying, I did not watch every single movie this year. Okay, in time. So I'm sorry if Tar is not on this. I'm sorry if The Whale is on this. I'm sorry if the Western Front movie, the new one, is not on this either. Okay, I could hear somebody screaming at me out of the 10 views. I hear it though. These are the movies that I saw this year, and I had them ranked in my letterbox, and which you guys should add. And this is my top 10. So I'm gonna keep it short and sweet because I really do not want to go too long. Number 10. Jordan Peele's Nope. Nope, I liked it. I didn't have too much of a problem with it. It wasn't his best work. Obviously, Get Out is his masterpiece, and everything after that will always be inferior. But this movie felt like his other two movies, Us and Get Out. They feel like feature-length Twilight Zone episodes. Just the whole surrealism aspect of it, and I love it. It feels like a modern 2-hour Twilight Zone entirety episode, and I would put Nope over Us. I think I love Us. I love everything going. I just don't like the ends and the whole explanation to it, because I think what works best is the whole mystery aspect of it, and Lee saying less is more, because once you start explaining things, they're gonna just fall apart. But Nope, I like. I love. I like. Number 9, Smile. Smile, I thought it was gonna be silly. It was a movie, people smiling. I'm like, this is gonna just be one of those dumb, scary movies. Until they started doing that advertising at Citi Field and the Yankee Stadium. Well, not Citi, yeah, when the Mets were playing the A's. Of the people smiling in the background with just a shirt saying "Smile." Genius. Genius. Such a simple advertising tactic. I thought it was great. And then that got me hyped for it. And Smile, I liked it. I liked it a lot. It was very engaging. My theater, it probably added to the experience, but it was a great concept, simple concept, some good twists in there. There was some good jump scares. There was some cheap jump scares. But Smile, I think, was a very solid horror movie, and one of the best ones this year. I could say that with confidence. Number 8, Chippendale Rescue Rangers. Damn, I forgot off the top of my head. I think it was Rescue Rangers. That movie, another movie that I thought was gonna be silly, but that movie, I loved. I loved it because it was very clever. It was Disney's. To me, it felt like it was Disney's ultimate flex of showing the amount of power they have, and just making all these meta jokes about the film industry as a whole. It just shows that they don't care either. They really do not care. And it was like a modern kind of Who Framed Roger Rabbit thing going on. And I really liked it. It was very funny. It was great. It's great to see all the little Easter eggs and everything like that. It did feel a little overdone, but like not in a overwhelming sense. That's why I really like Chippendale. It was Disney just saying, look at the things that we can do. Number 7, Black Panther: Wakanda Forever. Not the greatest Marvel movie. I have it in the middle of the pack, in the little middle upper, but I saw it 3 times, so that has to count for something. I never thought I would see a movie 3 times. Usually, like a good movie, I'll see twice maybe. Black Panther, like, I just saw it with a bunch of people, and I was like, oh, I don't mind going to see it again. It's a cool movie. It's a really great movie. I think it's a great movie, especially with the cards that were dealt to Ryan Coogler, with the passing of Chadwick Boseman. I think they handled it pretty good. I think they handled it the best that they could. I don't really like how they wrote him off, but in reality, there's not that many options. They could have wrote him off in a very satisfying way. So I like how they went and kept it as close to Chadwick Boseman as possible. That given a more personal feeling, because this was really like the first Marvel movie that had weight under it, because there was deaths, but those were character deaths. And they were gone, but like not really. Robert Downey Jr., he's still alive, but this was like a really big moment and chunk and death, and there was a lot of weight under it, and I think they handled it very well. There was still little things that were held down due to being a Marvel movie, but Still solid movie. 6, Pearl. Pearl, I love Mia Goth. Okay, I think she's one of the, if I had to pick like top like 3 breakout stars this year, Mia Goth is definitely, maybe one, definitely possibly one. And the other is in another movie that I'm gonna talk about, but I love the old school Wizard of Oz feeling. This and X, these movies just have so much like personality to them, which I'm gonna talk about a little bit more a bit later. But Pearl, I really liked. I really did. 5, The Batman. It felt so long ago when I saw that. I forgot this came out this year. It was like in way back in March. I've only seen it once. I haven't seen it since then. It's a long movie. I remember talking about how it felt a little bit too long. It was like 3. It felt like there was 3 endings, but it was a great immersive experience. It felt like I was watching like a murder mystery show, like half a season of a show. I think I talked about in my review that maybe it could have been like a show, but because they go back to the same, locations very often, that's why it felt like a show. But I really liked the Batman. It felt like a fresh take on the Batman as a whole, and I am excited to see if they make more movies like in this 7. That's what I compared it to. It was like the 7 kind of universe. It felt like 7 because it was really great. It really dove into the detective element of Batman, and I really liked that. Number 4, Barbarian. I really like this. I showed this to my mom, and she pointed out like a lot of the plot holes of it, and I agree there are some few plot holes, but I like how it gives you a sense of confinement. My favorite horror movies are the horror movies that make you feel like dread and that you uncomfortable and disturb you, and it pulls you into that world. And I think Barbarian does a really great job with the sense of confinement in this film, especially that first 15 minutes. Great. I love the lighting of it. I love the cinematography. I love the fisheye camera lens that you really don't see that much. I think it's a very, very solid horror movie, and it's an interesting look onto who are like the real villains of this film. Barbarian was really good. I wish I did not watch it bootleg the first time. I wish I saw it in the movie theaters the very first time. To me, not my favorite horror movie this year, which brings me to number 3, which I think X, if you really count it as a horror thriller, I loved X. I loved X. That was one of my favorite movie experiences ever. It really gave me that sense of like sinking into my chair. That's the best way I could describe that whole ending sequence. It was great. I love the 70s style of it. As I was talking before with Pearl, these movies have such a personality to them that makes it feel new and fresh and different from a lot of other films, especially a lot of horror films. And I love how it has its own personality to it. And as they go with this whole 70s style, which is why it makes me more excited for Maxine, which is the 3rd film of this, which takes place after X, which is going to be 80s. And I'm really excited to see how they're going to do that one. But this movie had great performances. There's a lot of twists and differences that they do from the common horror tropes. Like they'll lean into it, but then they'll take it a different direction. And that's what makes it feel fresh and new, by turning these common horror tropes on their head. And it gets you a lot more excited for Maxine. Number 2, the movie that deserves all the hype this year, Top Gun Maverick. Great experience. Wish I saw it in IMAX. That adds to my list of movies I wish I saw in IMAX, like Blade Runner. But one of my favorite action movies. Feels great. It doesn't rely on the first Top Gun as much. Like a lot of the story elements are because of the first Top Gun, but it feels like it could stand on its own. Like you don't have to have seen the first Top Gun to understand what's going on and to understand the relationships between a lot of these characters. It's pretty much explained. And in this, Top Gun Maverick, great movie. I wish I saw it again in the movie theaters. This is a movie that you need to see with the surround sound because it makes you feel like you're in a fighter jet. I wanted to drive 150 miles per hour after this movie, but of course I did not. Okay, it's not a plane. But Top Gun Maverick deserved all the hype, 1000%. The number 1, my favorite movie this year, and I knew it would be since I saw it, was Everything Everywhere All at Once. This movie, to me, is one of those like perfect movies. One of those movies that I would recommend off the dome. City of God was always that movie that I recommended when someone asked me about movies. Like, you know, you hear the regular movies that people recommend. You know, your Scarface and I don't know why I thought of that really quick. It was in my head recently, but Everything Everywhere All at Once, amazing. Everything about it, the performances, the cinematography, the characters in themselves, the dialogue, the choreography, everything, even how they explain the multiverse. It at some points it is confusing, but you got to sit down and watch this. And take it all in, and the actions will kind of speak for themselves and explain the whole universe. But out of like this year, the multiverse really took off and became more mainstream, especially with Doctor Strange and Spider-Man releasing at the end of the year last year. This movie was the best multiverse movie of this year. Hands down. It goes into and it owns the infinite possibilities of the multiverse, and in turn uses it for a heartwarming message and theme toward the end of the movie. And there's just so many elements. The costuming, the coloring, the color palette, everything was just amazing. They took the ridiculous vastness of the multiverse and they put it into this movie. And you can't ask for anything better than that. I thought that movie was excellent, amazing, perfection. That was my top 10. Let me know what should have been on the list. Maybe Tar, maybe The Whale, maybe Pinocchio. I did not see it. I want to see it. Glass Onion, maybe. I did not see it yet. I still need to watch Scream because Jenna Ortega, the queen, is in it. And what was an X, which I also think was another breakout star for this. But let me know what you guys think. What would be in your top 10 for 2022? And tell me why everything should be after Everything Everywhere All at Once. Because that's number one. I'm sorry. I don't care your opinion. That's number one. Well, Happy New Year, everybody. And I will see you in the next video. Next year. Unless you're watching this. That message is really for people who are like watching it today. Happy New Year, y'all. I'm out of here. Yeah.